Good morning, everybody. You're very welcome back to our video broadcast, Finding Christ in Every County. We're here this time in Ireland's ancient east, so-called in County Meath, over on the east coast, and we're here in the little village of Kells in County Meath. And Kells is famous for a book. You'll notice I'm sitting here on a seat that's shaped like a book, designed by a sculptor, Lawrence O'Brien, because Kells is known as the seat of learning. Why is that? Because of the famous Book of Kells. It's been described as Europe's greatest national treasure. The Book of Kells is famous. What is the Book of Kells, you say? The Book of Kells is a copy of the Bible. The Book of Kells is a copy of the four Gospels, taken from St. Jerome's Latin translation of the Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. It dates from 800 AD. It's written on calf vellum, and it originated first. Originally, apparently, was written first over on the Island of Iona, over on the Inner Hebrides, a little island archipelago of Scotland. And the Book of Kells was written by three scholars, three monks. They're called Hand A, Hand B and Hand C. The Book of Kells then was transferred from Iona over to the Abbey here, not too far from me here where I'm sitting, the Abbey here in Meath, and then eventually it ended up in the Long Room Library over in Dublin, over in Trinity College in Dublin. So that is a brief history of the Book of Kells. The Book of Kells is famous for two things. It's famous for the quality of its calligraphical writing. It's apparently the highlight, the pinnacle of Western calligraphy. Very beautiful to look at, but also it's also famous for the quality of its illumination. What does that mean? It's called insular illumination. Basically what it means is the Book of Kells is not just blank text. The Book of Kells is beautifully designed with symbols and colours, vibrant colours, and Celtic crosses, Celtic knots, to make each piece, to give each page a depth and a vibrancy, illumination. You know, I want to read just now a verse from the Bible, from John's Gospel. John's Gospel and chapter 20. And verse 30, it says here, Jesus performed many other signs in the presence of his disciples that are not written in this book. But these are written that ye might believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that believing you might have life in his name. We thought a little bit about the Book of Kells. I want to think first of all about illumination. You see, the Bible illuminates you and me. The Bible illuminates us as to the world around about us. Just as a light shines into a dark room and shows everything up as it really is, the Bible illuminates for you and me the world. And we realise, yes, this universe has been designed. It's not as many people think an accident or order coming from chaos. It has a grand craftsman, a master designer. It has to. The Bible illuminates us as to the universe. The Bible illuminates us and illuminates our mind as to the problem of sin. We come to realise, yes, as we look across the world today, as we think of every country and every culture, the problems that they face, crime and greed and pride and selfishness and all the issues of life that make life sad, we realise that they're really symptoms that come from a deeper problem. And the problem is called sin. The problem of sin is a universal disease that we all have. The Bible says there's a problem wrong with the human heart. The Bible describes the human heart as deceitful and desperately wicked. So here we have the illumination as to our sin problem, a defective human personality, a flawed heart that we cannot solve ourselves. That's why the Bible speaks about the necessity of salvation or new birth. We can't make ourselves into better people. We need new life. We need salvation. We need the new birth the Bible talks about. So the Bible illuminates you and me. Not only illumination, but regeneration. You know, we talk about urban regeneration. You've heard the term. When cities and towns get large and people move out to the suburbs and buildings get closed and shuttered up and vandalism occurs, these projects are initiated to bring and breathe new life into communities. Regeneration. You know, people that have seen the Book of Kells say that as they look at the Book of Kells there in the glass case, on that little black pedestal, with the spotlight shining down upon it and the beautiful colours and vibrancy, each page seems to almost come alive in the darkness. And it's the beauty that shines off each page is just alive. You know, let's think about the gospel again, because Jesus Christ said, and we have read the very verse here in John 20, Jesus Christ says, he said, I am come that they might have life, and they might have it more abundantly. Again, we've read the verse that in John's gospel, because John the apostle says that I have written to you about Jesus Christ that you might have life through his name. Illumination, regeneration. You see, you might be religious today, but do you have life? You might be very meticulous as to your church going, but do you have life? You might be a philosopher and think about reality. Do you have life? You might give to charity. You see, without life you can never be in heaven. Without life and salvation you'll never be where God is. You see, regeneration is absolutely vital, and again Jesus Christ came to give life. You know, not only this, not only illumination and regeneration, but valuation. Let's think about valuation, because the Book of Kells is priceless. There's only one in the world. It's irreplaceable. It's there in Dublin at the moment in a protective glass case. The temperature is controlled, the humidity is controlled, because it could never be replaced. It's absolutely priceless. Listen to what Jesus Christ said in Mark's Gospel, Mark chapter 8. And he describes the whole world. He said, what shall it profit a man or woman if they gain the whole world and lose their own soul? You think about that. All the resources of the world, all its oil reserves, all its gold reserves. And yet Jesus Christ says it's totally incomparable to the value of a soul. It's not to be considered. You know, you are valuable beyond compare, because you have an eternal soul that will never die. You know, long after you're buried or cremated, you'll be somewhere in eternity, because the Bible speaks about two places, and only two places. Jesus Christ himself spoke about everlasting punishment or life eternal. That's the option before you and before me today. I'm glad I'm trusting Christ today. I'm glad I'm saved. I'm born again. Not because of anything I do or have done, but all because of Jesus Christ. All because that he has finished the work. And who can add to something that's done? Who can complement or supplement something that's finished? If you're ever in Kells here and visiting the Abbey, or you see the famous round tower, or you see this seat here up by Super Value, remember a little talk today. Remember illumination, the beautiful illumination of the Book of Kells, the so important illumination of the Bible as to sin, as to salvation, as to why Jesus Christ died. Remember regeneration, how the Book of Kells almost seems to come alive in the long room of the library as people view it day by day. Don't forget again, life is needed, and that life is to be found in Jesus Christ alone. Valuation, the Book of Kells is priceless. You know, it's even said that pre-COVID, you know, on an average year the Book of Kells brings in 12 million euro from admission fees. People coming specifically to see the Book of Kells. That's amazing, isn't it? Priceless, absolutely priceless, just like your soul, my friend. You know, the question is today what you will do with Jesus Christ. Just again, as I finish this video, I want to leave you with that question, because you might remember Pontius Pilate there at the crucifixion scene. He asked the assembled crowd, he said, what shall I do then with Jesus, who is called Christ? Once again, the challenge goes out to you today. Once again, the question is asked, what will you do with Jesus? Will you trust him? Will you relinquish all self-effort and come to believe on him and be saved and born again and ready for heaven? Thanks again for listening, folks. As always, your time is much appreciated. Thank you again.